G'day subscribers, today we're going to talk about the emergency stoplight, the Air Chief radio, the weather shields and also swinger tags. You're with Jules Knight on Jive Talking Garage. Okay, so this is a nice little accessory that we've picked up, and one thing I like is, look at the box. Isn't that just great? I think that's fantastic. It is just pristine. So it's a Lucas part 620-57024. Okay, so what the purpose is of this one. Now, I've seen this online or auction sites and stuff like that for quite some period of time. But what it is a little light that goes underneath the dash. And what happens is, if you're having a problem with the rear brake light or lights and it blows, well then the stoplight comes on. And how it works is you've got power and you can take two stop lamps. So once you've got power to it, it's a case of, if one of the stop lamps blows, well then the red light comes on to show you that you have an issue with your stoplights. Now I thought that was terrific little accessory, and not only that, but I'd seen it and it was quite expensive in some places where I'd seen it. Now this one comes with, you know, the little instructions for it and so on, and tells you what to do when it comes in 6 volt, 12 volt and 24 volt. And we know about Lucas's association with Holden's and so on, so, you know, and it's, you know, got a registered design and patent on it and all that sort of stuff. So I just think it's a wonderful little accessory. I mean, it's one of those genuine things. Let's face it, if you're driving along and light comes on, you know, you go to stop at a stoplight and you put your foot on the brake and light comes on and says, oh, you've broken a tail light, or a stoplight's not working. Well, isn't that better than a policeman telling you? You know, I was quite lucky with The Apprentice last year. He was driving home in my FG6 and he got pulled over by the police, and the policeman said to him, mate, one of your taillights isn't working. And so Lachlan's got out of the car, went down to the back of it and just knocked on it. It comes back on and goes, there you go. And so we got off with a warning. But I think it's a really good thing because it avoids the entire situation. Now, I wanted to talk about radios. Now, from what I've seen in the accelerator magazines and also the salesman's references, you know, you'll get a salesman's reference sheet like that. In this case, it is sheet number 1, believe it. Sheet 1. Okay, so that's talking about radios. It's an Air Chief 6. So Air Chief 6. So you'll see an Air Chief 6 or an Air Chief 5. Now, what it is, the difference between the two is the 5 has 5 valves to power it, and the 6 has 6 valves. Now there is also another one which is sort of like a universal one that I've seen, and it doesn't look very attractive at all, but you know, it's only about, you know, so big as far as the face of it is concerned, and it's sort of like a bit of an oval with a couple of dials there, and it's for like a truck application or a universal application, not necessarily for Holden. Because let's talk about it for a moment. You know, Holden's were, say, £860 to £1,000, and radios in those days were pretty expensive because cars did not come with them. And not for nothing, it was quite a while until you could actually get a car standard with a radio and a sound system. So the Air Chief 6 was a bit more powerful than the Air Chief 5 from the perspective of receiving the signal from the transmitters. So they were mainly aimed at the country driver and also taxi industry as well. So I know my dad didn't even have one in his car. He had a Ferris, I think, a Ferris, and it was like white with a white, red, and white push button on it, and it went into a carriage, and that carriage went underneath the dash, and it was called a picnic radio. But that's an entirely different thing. So what I have here is the ALA radio. So this is a special, and the reason I know it's for a special is that it's got black knobs. Right? If it was for a standard or a ute or a sedan or a panel van, you could get the white knobs. And let's face it, I can take this today and I can get that white knob for them because they have started to reproduce them in some of the companies. So, I can turn that from a special to a standard. Now, you'll see at the back, it's got a nut and bolt, and that's so that if this goes in the dash, well then there is a diagram in the green 48215 manual which actually shows you where the hole is on the firewall that you would measure, punch, drill, and mount this rear support, because that's what it is. This is to hold it in place, because I must say this is pretty heavy. This is heavy, this isn't. All right? And these are a delicate item, an extremely delicate item. Now I'm going to say 10%. So as price is concerned, 10% of the value of the car. You'd have to pay extra to maybe get a radio. Now I'm sure there'll be, just bleep it in the stuff below. But from memory, I think they weren't cheap, and that's why you don't necessarily see a lot of them. And they are a hard to get, sought after item because they were expensive in the day, and it was a case of not a tremendous amount were purchased because they were expensive. But one of the other things you got with it was your lovely little book. You've got a few words to help you. You've got some details on it and maintenance and so on. And by the way, these aren't a plug-in aerial. These are a screw-on aerial cable, just quietly. You've got your warranty information all there. And it also tells you all of the places. So in Queensland, which would most probably come dead last, you got Victoria first, New South Wales, then Queensland. In really, it doesn't. You got to go a long way. I can see Redcliffe, Southport, Belbourne, Bundaberg, Caboolture, Cairns, Cunnamulla, Gladstone, Gympie. Gee whiz, there's an awful lot there, Kingaroy, and so on. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on, and I certainly don't mean to. So, yeah, there's a few places around town. I know Anand and Thompson would have been in Brisbane, and they were up on Spring Hill near the big guys, Metro Ford. Okay, so, lovely little book. Comes with a warranty. They stamp it inside. Congratulations, we've got your money. Happy listening. Now, one of the things with this as well. Now, I showed you the face of it there, and on the so if we look at the face, we would have one of the knobs, and I'm trying to remember which one it was power, and which one was selecting the channel. But when I had mine refurbished, they had to restring this. It's like a little belt, and so when you Okay, so that's power. You can hear the switch. And then this other one here, it was running the belt, which moved the frequency backwards and forwards. Now mine had I'll show you. Now this is the modern version, not the old version, okay? So as far as the modern version is concerned, and I'll put it against the background so you can actually see it. They're the numbers for the frequency for AM. So AM, amplitude modulation, FM, frequency modulation. So that was the AM numbers, starting down at 6 for like 6, 12, 4QR. So that was the details for that. But on mine, when I bought it, I was quite lucky because mine came with the Queensland stations. I had New South Wales stations on another one of these transfers, and then a third one with Victoria stations on it. Now you could have one if you wanted, or you could actually stack them behind each other. So I thought that was a really great little item. That was a great item, a great thing to do. Really, really clever. Now, let's talk about swing tags, shall we? So when we got our FJ, we would get an owner's book, right? We'd get an owner's book. And that's the one I've been keeping for all my years. Now, we'll just try and take these out very, very gingerly. Now, you'd get a swing tag. So you'd go to collect your car at delivery, and they would open or turn on the lights, and this has a very faint cut in it here, and then they would slip this swing tag underneath your light, and that gave you driving instructions and manufacturer's warranty, and it was basically telling you what to do. Right. And there are slightly different variations to it as you got different models. And you could also get, like a mechanic's guide with, torque specifications and engine specifications and so on. So that was all there. And then information for mechanics and stuff like that. So that was good. Now, on the choke, you'd get that swing tag. So that was some of the chrome plated parts in this car have a clear enamel protective finish, like a polish, I suppose. Important notice, the use of abrasives for cleaning or polishing may destroy or damage this protective finish. Wash only in cold water. Do not use hot water, steam, strong soaps, or strong detergents. Refer to owner's manual, that's that blue one, on the care of new type chrome. Dealer, do not remove this tag. So therefore that would have been put in the factory. So if that's gone in on the factory, that tells me that other one would have gone in on the factory as well. I'm liking it. Okay. Learn more each day, don't you? Now, this is a nice little good housekeeping book that would be in your glove box as well, telling you how to deal with cleaning this and cleaning that, and anything from lipstick on your lipstick on your upholstery, or if you had a dog in the car, or any of those types of things, that would be sitting there in the glove box. And for instance, if you had a dash fan fitted or a extra mirror or whatever, well, it would not be uncommon to have what's this called swing tags, and that's why they're called swing tags. But that one, you can see, Wybrock, remember, NASCO didn't make anything. It contracted out to vendors to do it for them. That's for giving you a little ad there for mirrors and exhaust deflectors, the little picnic set. How cool was that? The little picnic set, that's great. And a telescopic mirror, and then a little blurb on the back about Wybrock. So just sort of great. And I've got some other stickers and things that I'll be putting on my car when it comes out. But that's cool. We've got one more item to show you before we call it a day. By the way, that's another good little book you can get your fingers on. I really like that one. Rodney asked me about, oh, where do you get that one? That was a while ago. Now, I've seen all-weather window shields two ways. I've seen, so we're talking about this item here, and they're also in the Master Parks catalogue, and also the brochure for the vehicle. You have a brochure for NASCO accessories too. So they're on all of those items. Now I've also seen them reproduced recently in stainless steel, and one of our group experts, Scotty Too Hottie, he's got them on his black car. So you know, you can get these things now, which is good. But this is the original item, so you can see that as far as the construction point is, these items, and they sort of sprung in and around your Bailey channels, and they've you know, got a little hole there for screws to actually fasten them into place. So now in this instance, these ones are the color of the car, top and bottom. But I've also seen in a box, and I think Cherie sold a set of these new old stock 2 weeks ago. So we're talking August 2021. So Cherie sold a pair of these, a set of these, I should say, a set of 4, 500 Aussie dollars. So that gives you a bit of an idea that, you know, you could have these around your car and the tops of the doors. And I think they're a great little accessory. I know I've actually got the variant of them on my VF Commodore, so I'm really pleased with that type of idea. So that way you can crack the window a little bit, and you don't get the rain coming in the car. You can still get a bit of air. So yeah, these are really good little accessories. But anyway, look, so today we've talked about the emergency stoplight, the Air Chief radio. We've talked about swinger tags, and we've also talked about the NASCO weather shields. But anyway, don't forget, you need to stop by Facebook and have a look at Jive Talking Garage. If you like what we've talked about here, you're going to see a heap more of it at Jive Talking Garage. So, you know, I need to send members from here to Jive Talking Garage and Jive Talking Garage on Facebook to here. It sort of will balance it out, I'm sure, and I won't have to answer as many questions as I do. But anyway, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. But more importantly, enjoy your Holden.